So this video is being made for one purpose and one purpose only. To kind of diffuse the tension I feel that a lot of Red Wings fans may be having in regards to their forwards and guys that need to get contracts and guys that may be on the move. It's trade deadline week, right? So we all acknowledge that there's a lot going on around the NHL, but throughout all of this chaos that everybody is greeted with, every time you open up Twitter, there's a new rumor popping up. Because it's so chaotic, I wanted to make this video to serve as a little bit of solace in this difficult time. So today, we are talking about my third favorite team, the Detroit Red Wings, and going over yet another one of these little tidbit updates in regards to a player on their team. You know him, you love him, he's a pretty influential figure in NHL history, and he recently signed with Detroit to great success. Today, we are talking about Patrick Kane. Because when it comes to the video that we made yesterday in regards to the Wings, we talked about a bunch of stuff. We had talked about how Dylan Larkin was injured. We talked about how Steve Yzerman wanted to go out there and re-sign Raymond and Seider. We had talked about the updates with Jake Guentzel and everything in between. Lots of updates, right? But when it comes to the identity of the Red Wings heading into this trade deadline period, there are a few conflicting questions that you could ask. Are the Wings a buyer? Are the Wings a seller? Are they trading away Perron and Kane? Are they trading for Jake Guentzel? There's a bunch that you could go out there and hypothesize, and I will say I'm recording this video on the night of Monday, March 4th, so if there is a big trade or a contract extension by the time this video is uploaded on YouTube, then I apologize. We'll talk about that later. But with this Patrick Kane conversation, I wanted to turn your attention to this article on NHLTradeTalk.com published by Jim Parsons yesterday. Mild frenzy over contract status of Patrick Kane with the Wings. The Detroit Red Wings found a fit with Patrick Kane this season, so why is there a frenzy regarding a contract extension for the forward? The article then goes out there and opens up by talking about how some may hit the panic button because of Patrick Kane's status with the team. It's somewhat understandable that, as the trade deadline nears, current concern that Kane might not secure an extension with the Wings does exist. However, before the panic button is pressed, Sportsnet's Elliotte Friedman suggests there's a strategic reasoning behind this apparent delay. Take a look at what Friedman wrote about in his latest 32 Thoughts article. The Red Wings locked up Michael Rasmussen. They've discussed doing so with David Perron, and they're believed to be working on the same with Raymond and Seider, the younger cornerstones. So, Steve Yzerman is taking care of the family business, as Michael Corleone would say. Patrick Kane may not have an extension before the deadline, but that's not a reason to freak out. Now, what exactly does that mean? It's just saying that, hey, the Wings are trying to re-sign Raymond and Seider, they're trying to get Perron done, they did Rasmussen, but because they are not trying to get Kane done right away, that's a good thing? What exactly does Elliotte Friedman mean with this idea? Well, this is why I like this article on NHL Trade Talk, because Jim Parsons goes out there and pretty much spells it out. Patrick Kane, who is a seasoned and accomplished player, holds significant value for any team lucky enough to have him in their ranks. As such, he'd be an interesting player to watch over the next few days if word leaked that Detroit was open to trading him. Honestly, he could fetch the Wings a tidy profit, and that might have even been their initial plan. When Kane was initially signed to a one-year deal, the agreement was that he could have a conversation with the Wings about moving if the team was out of the playoff mix. But he's been one of their better players since his arrival, and the Wings hold the first wildcard spot in the East. There's no good reason to trade him. That is, unless he doesn't want to stay. And this is another thing that I thought was a big part to bring up as well. When Patrick Kane talked about when he signed with the Wings, the biggest element that you got was trust. That Kane himself put his faith into the Red Wings organization, not just because he took a dartboard and tossed a dart and it landed on Detroit. Oh yeah, woohoo, let's go with this team now. But because of the amount of due diligence that Steve Yzerman and the Red Wings staff ended up investing into Patrick Kane before they signed him, all of the checkups, all of the physicals, all of the evaluations, because Patrick Kane felt secure in this overall environment, that's why he chose Detroit. That's why he decided to reunite with his former line mate in Alex DeBrincat, and that's why everything's been going well. Kane was very outspoken about these qualities, and if anything, it speaks to the importance that the Wings hold up in regards to their standards, their own organizational values of being able to put the right things first in contract negotiations and in player assessments. So when Patrick Kane goes out there and publicly talks about it, you start to feel this idea floating around there saying, hey, he kind of likes it here. Like, of course, he's not supposed to like it here. He was a Blackhawk for all those years, but he likes it here. So, would it not be all too surprising if the Wings may be some sort of an extension destination if they could keep up a sustained level of success? The article then goes out there and says this, that the Wings are taking care of their other business before Patrick Kane. The Wings, known for their commitment to rebuilding and reshaping the team, are likely engaging in a thorough evaluation of the deadline market. Specifically, Yzerman is looking to add. He's not keen on taking players with terms, so questions about what the right fit is will be answered over the next few days. That's not to say, though, that Patrick Kane is being ignored. The veteran winger deserves a contract that not only acknowledges his worth, but also seamlessly into the Red Wings' evolving vision. The absence of an immediate extension does not translate to an imminent departure or a breakdown in the player-team relationship, so as the trade deadline approaches, the collective fandom should resist the urge to succumb to panic. Both Kane and the Wings will work towards a deal that secures he sticks with the team next season. The deal might not come before Friday, however. And this seems to be the biggest conclusion here, that because the Wings are in a position to buy, because they're doing so well, because they're in that playoff hunt, there's no reason to trade Patrick Kane away. And with all the goodwill that has been built up over the past few months with the Kane acquisition in the first place, it would be super surprising to me if Kane signed with Detroit, which he did, played in Detroit, which he did, played past the trade deadline, which he probably will, and then just yeeted off in the free agency. Like, Kane himself has trade protection on this contract he's got with the Wings. He's got a no-trade clause. So if he was to get traded, he would have to be the person involved in getting that done. He'd have to okay it. But if the Wings are just like, okay, well, calm down, Kane. We're just going to keep you around here. We want to see what else we can do with the rest of our guys, see what our financials look like heading into the offseason, and then we can get you started on talking about the future. That makes a lot of sense to me, too. And so, all in all, when it comes to the fear, I guess, the uncertainty in regards to Patrick Kane and his future with the Wings, this is the update I think that needs to be talked about. How the Wings seem to be mostly just placing a lot of value in focusing on some of their other guys. They know they've got Kane in the bag, or at least it appears that they have him. There's no reason for them to trade him away. With the way the season has gone, it'd be kind of foolish to give up on a guy like Kane in the process of also being a buyer. Like, it would be so contradictory, would it not be, to trade away Patrick Kane and then immediately trade for Jake Guentzel or something? Like, why not just keep all the good assets you have on your team right now while you push towards that playoff spot, while you hope that the ultimate outcome is playoff experience for guys like Raymond, for guys like Seider, for guys like Alex DeBrincat, right? Has he played in the playoffs? I mean, no, he probably has. Yeah, with the Chicago Blackhawks in the 2020 bubble year. But aside from that, I mean, Ottawa, no playoffs. Detroit, so far, no playoffs. It's been kind of interesting taking a look at where these guys have gone in regards to their postseason experience. So for Patty Kane, this could be an asset that they use in that playoff picture, and it'd be in their best interest to keep him past this deadline. So heading into the future, it'd be kind of tough to believe that they just do this move, keep him around, and then just let him walk. There's probably going to be an extension. I don't think fans need to worry about this. And if there is already an extension by the time this video is uploaded on YouTube, then I apologize for having my own schedule. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below if you're a Wings fan. What are your opinions about the Patrick Kane signing/trade update? Do you think this spells good things for the Wings heading into the next few weeks if Kane does get traded, which I don't think is going to happen, but if he does get traded, what do you think it's for? What do you think the Wings could get back in exchange for an asset like Kane? And if he sticks around and he re-signs, what do you think the contract looks like? 2, 3 years? What's the AAV on that? $5-6 million a piece? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about Patrick Kane and the Detroit Red Wings. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.